Hello, everyone. My name is Vincent Wong, and I am an assistant professor of law at the University of Windsor. I am also an alumnus of Columbia Law School in New York City, having been awarded a commendation for leadership and commitment to human rights in 2019 as a Columbia Law School Human Rights Fellow. I, like many other Columbia Law School alumni, are distraught and dismayed at the news that long-tenured law professor Catherine Franke has been forced out of the faculty where she has taught for 25 years. This is in response to Professor Franke expressing public concern about Columbia's failure to address harassment of Palestinians and their allies by Israeli students who came to campus straight from military service, and after some of these ex-IDF members sprayed Palestinian rights protesters on campus with a noxious and dangerous chemical substance. Incredibly, Columbia University paid off one of the chemical attack perpetrators nearly $400,000 in a settlement. Yet for that public statement of concern, Professor Franke was subject to two discrimination complaints filed against her by colleagues at Columbia. She has been subject to people posing as her students and secretly videotaping her at office hours, and she has been subject to repeated death threats and continued threats of assault, murder, and rape. In Professor Franke's words, she has, quote, come to regard Columbia Law School as a hostile work environment in which she can no longer enter the classroom, hold office hours, walk through the campus, or engage in faculty governance functions free from egregious and unwelcome harassment on account of her defense of students' freedom to protest and express views that are critical of Israel's treatment of Palestinians, treatment that is widely regarded by the most prominent human rights organizations nationally and globally as genocide. End quote. In April 2024, after Columbia University students had been brutalized, suspended, and otherwise punished for their protest of and opposition to Columbia's complicity in Israel's genocide of Gaza, over 150 public interest honorees of Columbia Law School wrote a letter condemning the university and the law school's callous disregard for the rights and well-being of its students, protesting the annihilation of Palestinian life and continued theft of Palestinian lands. I was one of its signatories. But it is clear that 9 months later, nothing has changed at Columbia. And if anything, repression has gotten worse and more systematized. Now, this is my 2019 Commendation for Leadership and Commitment to Human Rights. It was awarded to me, quote, in recognition of exceptional dedication to human rights at Columbia Law School and to the human rights field. And I must admit, when I first received this recognition, I was very happy. After all, it was Columbia Law School where I received much of my training on international human rights law, a topic that I currently teach. But this last 15 months has reiterated to me that fundamental human rights do not apply to the colonized, to the wretched of the earth. Columbia Law School was also the place where I learned critical race theory, that racism was not merely about individual discrimination, but about systemic power, dehumanization, and subordination. But this last 15 months has showed me that anti-racist protection does not apply to those who suffer under Israeli settler colonial apartheid, even when they are subject to the pinnacle of racist violence, genocide. Therefore, in protest of Professor Franke's effective expulsion from Columbia Law School, and in solidarity with all those struggling for a liberated Palestine in our lifetimes, I wish to rescind this commendation for leadership and commitment in human rights. Solidarity to Professor Franke, solidarity to the student protesters at Columbia University, and most importantly, solidarity to the people of Palestine. Thank you.